Hello, my name's Shalise. Welcome on everybody to my New Mutants 2020 movie review. I just saw New Mutants in theaters. The theaters are back open. I just saw the movie. I gotta say this, everybody. This was the last of the X-Men franchise and all that stuff. This is the last from Fox. And it's a sad day to see when Fox is no longer owns X-Men and all that stuff. And I mean only the X-Men. They could lose the Fantastic Four any day. But this movie, New Mutants, people said this is probably one of the worst X-Men films. To me, I only hated one X-Men film. I generally say it's a terrible film, and that was X-Men Origins Wolverine. Dark Phoenix, X-Men Last Stand, Apocalypse, they were just, to me, okay. They had bad things about them, but they weren't terrible. New Mutants is in that category. It's not a terrible film. This is an okay film. The problem is that without seeing the trailers, you're gonna know the story. It's way too predictable. And to me, this film, before I get into spoilers, this film was very predictable. Sorry, the subtlety is not in this director's vocabulary or the writers. I get that this movie was delayed and they were supposed to have reshoots, and some of the reshoots did not happen. So I'm like, I felt like reshoots were necessary, and different choices in the story could have been made this story a lot better. This could have been a C. This story was a C story to me, but this easily could have been a B plus story. The story, there was a good story here. It's just the subtlety is not good. Now again, what's New Mutants about? A group of teenagers are locked into this facility and all that stuff, and there's like some horror stuff going around with them, with their powers and all that stuff. It kind of tries to take a realistic approach to this, but the thing is though, there's not a lot of stuff that's, how should I say, there's not a lot of, again, there's, I don't even know to put into words. There's not a lot of action, which I don't mind. There's not a lot of like, I don't know. There's not a lot of superhero shit right there. It's mostly just a group of kids hanging out into a mental facility and all that stuff, and they're all freaking out when some of their worst fears are coming true. Now, before I spoil into this movie, I did not hate this film. I think this film was, again, okay. So I would give it a grade, a C+. This was actually a little bit more enjoyable time at the movies. But certain things, I just had an eye roll. Now, what happens in the... Well, let's talk about spoilers now. So, spoilers, here on out. There are certain things I just don't like. I like subtlety. I like slow build-up relationships. New Mutants, to me, could have been better off as a TV show. As a movie, hell no. Here's the thing. They have Macy Williams. She's in love with the main character of this movie and all this stuff. She's an Indian girl, I believe. She's a Native American Indian girl. And the Native American Indian girl, but let me look up her freaking name because I ain't forgot her name. I believe her name is Danny. Danny in this movie and all that stuff. Her father was killed, and they say it was like a hurricane or something, like something on the reservation. She survived, but she's a mutant. So they have her in this facility. Her and Macy Williams develop into a quick love interest real quickly. And I mean, this is the most stereotypical lesbian love interest alive. A Catholic schoolgirl. Yeah, we all know, and how she was looking at her. I'm like, and then they snuck out to the graveyard and they laid down next to each other. We all know what's gonna happen. I mean, if that wasn't subtle enough, they put Buffy the Vampire Slayer with Willow and her, the love of her life, kissing on screen. And you have Macy Williams just staring at the screen like this. That's their subtlety. That is terrible subtlety. There's another conversation with Danny's character, with Danny, who basically is telling about a story about about like something her father once told her as a young kid. And once that story is told, anybody with a logical brain could guess the entire movie. Their subtlety for these entire movies, for this entire movie, was not subtle at all. Everything you could predict. Okay, this is gonna be a friendship that's gonna turn into a relationship real freaking quick. Considering how they look at each other in the showers and all that stuff, and considering they went to the graveyard and Macy Williams is obviously it was a lesbian girl because again she's looking at the screen of like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, like the lesbian couple in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and she's looking at the screen, and she's a Catholic girl, and how she was looking at Danny the character, and I'm like, yeah, this is kind of obvious. The dream, the dreams that Danny's had that her father once told her, and all that stuff. not dreams, but stories that her father once told her. Yeah, predictable. The love interest very predictable. The only certain things I did not expect was one character, his basically sunspot, and how he kind of like burned his girlfriend alive. One of them, another girl named played by Anya Taylor Joy, great actress. She was basically, she's Colossus' sister in the freaking comics, but apparently she was raped at a young age and abused at a young age. And then we have another character from the guy from Stranger Things. He's a guy from Kentucky, a young kid from Kentucky who works in the mines. And he accidentally unleashed his power and killed his family, or killed his father and his father's co-workers. So there's a lot of stuff I gotta say. I enjoy about New Mutants. I enjoyed the certain other characters other than Macy Williams' character and Danny, the main character. I like the action scenes. Action scenes were good. Alice Braga's character was good. And again, there are certain things about this movie I enjoy, but to me, they kind of take away. I feel like a lot of stuff could have been fixed with different reshoots and all that stuff. Certain things could be added. I mean, they added a scene from Logan that Alice Braga's character works for that organization because, she's a doctor in this movie and she's trying to help the mutants and all that stuff. But it doesn't really help the situation because I'm like, but they're mentioning the X-Men in another scene, so the X-Men still exist in this universe. But yet that scene about the kids getting kidnapped, I guess they're like, okay, we'll just take that same scene for that because we don't have time to film actual kids being into this place and all that stuff. So, the kids being stuck into being experimented on by government stuff. So they use they use the stuff from Logan, even though the X-Men are gone. So it's just like I just didn't really get it all too much for that timeline and sense. I just think they should have stayed away from the X-Men. They should have stayed away from certain stuff about the X-Men, not the X-Men universe, but basically don't talk about the X-Men, don't talk about this, and maybe leave it off like a spoiler, like something like an end credit scene. But to me, this was a film that never really had a chance to shine. This was a film that never really got an opportunity to really show growth. To actually have a proper ending. And to me, I think the New Mutants could be a movie series or a TV show series on HBO. There is substance. There is good stuff about this movie. But to me, for the time that they've given, it feels like they weren't even given a chance to succeed. And now that their box office like this, and now a lot of people are going to theaters right now, I don't think they will succeed. And I don't think the New Mutants will be a having for Disney at all because, again, these characters are a little bit too dark. Maybe they'll have Macy Williams' character and the girl named Danny because, lesbian couple, and, Disney is all for promoting everything for the LGBTQ community, and they'll promote anything to get pandering points to blacks, Hispanics, to any other, any minorities and all that stuff. That's how they are. That's my personal opinion. Disney is the type of people that do that shit. They'll, hey, here's progressive this, here's this stuff, here's this stuff. Let's have political message this, let's have this stuff. Again, there is good relationship building for relationship building. Then there's bad. Good even though some before people say oh, you don't like lesbian couples and all that stuff. No, I like it subtle. I don't like it quick. Unless in a girl I don't like the fact that Danny hooks up with Macy Williams' character literally a couple days after her father is dead. And right after she meets the girl and all this. So, granted, I guess it's teenagers, and teenagers just, with their hormones, just get on top of each other. But to me, I just thought it was way too quick, way too much. I just thought it was too quick, too soon. If you would have told me they were friends, I would have had the beginning of the scene different. Instead of Danny's character being in the front, the hospital and all this stuff, being strapped to the bed, I would have both of them being strapped to different beds in that same room, become friends and all this stuff, and maybe hint at a future relationship. I would appreciate it that much more than how quick this freaking was and all that was. I feel like this movie was rushed. Certain scenes were rushed. I feel like, again, this film did not get a chance to even shine. This film never had a chance to succeed. And sad to say, I don't think there will be a sequel to this. But overall, the New Mutants, I enjoyed the film. I thought it was okay. I don't know where these characters are going to go in the near future. Again, maybe Disney might take away Macy Williams' character. Maybe they want some other characters, but I don't know because there's part of the Fox merger. So you never know what they're going to do with these characters and side characters. But X-Men, New Mutants for the last film of the X-Men franchise, what can you say? Now, what can I say? I love the X-Men franchise. I love the Fox X-Men franchise. But they didn't go out with a bang. So, yeah, everybody, let me know what y'all think. Subscribe if you like. Description about link, comment down below. Let me know. Respect my opinion, respect yours. Where's your personal opinion, everybody, about the New Mutants movie? Name's your least and everybody. Bye.